You boys ready to reveal our power ratings?
Let's reveal the new week's power ratings.
Let's
Let's do
go.
it.
Technically, if you know, you've seen the first ones. But episode 1 doesn't exist due to technical error. So if you don't know and you're new here, it's time for the light poll. It is time for our very own NFL power ratings designed by ourselves. It's our very own model. This computer right here spits this model out for us. Essentially, it's going to spit out two numbers. It is going to spit out our power ratings, which rates teams based on their important metrics to winning football games, rates them on a scale of, I think, 100 to 100, or 0 to 150, rates them on a scale of that range, and spits out those ratings and essentially tries to determine who would beat who on a neutral field. And then off of that, we have our power rankings, which takes those ratings, averages them out with all three of our rankings, and spits out an official rankings. And that is what we call the light poll. So without further ado, it is time to release the week 5 light poll ratings.
With the obvious number
Here we
one.
are. I don't know if you guys have it pulled up or not. The obvious number one still. You gotta beat the man to beat the man. The 49ers are still number one. Believe the computer agrees with that. That is the one pick on the board that the computer agrees with. Eagles at 2, Bills at 3, Dolphins at 4, Ravens at 5 to round out the top 5. What sticks out here?
Hey, let's go.
All right, top 6. We got Lions right there as well. What sticks out here?
Honestly, the big thing that kind of sticks out to me is the Texans. I do agree. I think they are a very good team, but I was kind of surprised that you guys agreed with that. I didn't know how you felt about the Texans, and I'm kind of high on CJ Stroud. I
really like the Texans. We all rated them very highly. The computer actually rated them one higher at number 12.
Yeah, that was the other thing I'm kind of surprised with.
That Chiefs one does and doesn't surprise me. Metric-wise, the Chiefs have not looked good enough to be in that top 5. To the eyes, I think they still look like a contender to everybody out there. And top 8 is a contender. But to the metrics, which is what these ratings are, they simply don't. So that number 8 rating doesn't confuse me too much. What does confuse me is the computer put them 10.
I could see them being at number 10 with the 9 and 10 teams, seeing the Seahawks and Bucks. I could definitely see them being behind those two teams.
Yeah. I mean,
it's crazy for me to think that the Chiefs could be worse than the Bucks right now, but Baker Mayfield has got that offense looking kind of nice, and their defense is still very good.
So another one that stands out to me, the Cardinals are at 27th. The computer believes that they should be at 19th.
Yeah, that's absurd.
Believes that they should be at 19th.
That's disgusting.
This last game boosts that a lot, obviously. Very good on Sunday, but
I think the last two games
they've definitely been improving. Well. They've definitely been improving. Titans, the computer believes, should be at 18. They're at 21.
The other one, the Broncos, we have them at 30. The computer thinking they're at 22 is also absurd.
Here's the thing: the Broncos look at their metrics. The only reason they stand out to the computer is because they have scored quite a few points. Their yards per point is also fairly low as well, meaning they don't have to gain as many yards per point that they score, which is a good metric in determining spreads. They do score a lot of points on offense still, so that's kind of why the computer favors them right now. They also have a really difficult schedule. Strength of schedule is weighted in there as well. There are things to look at with that Broncos team and why the computer would see it higher.
Is that no way that says Eagles at 6?
Yes, 5. Eagles at 5.
5.
They've been kind of struggling. Like, they've had points in each of their games where they have had struggles. Yes, they have won every game they have played, but if you look at their games as a whole, I think they have had multiple opportunities where they could have taken L's this year, but they somehow find a way, like the Eagles do, to pull out a W.
The Eagles are think, only scoring points on 38% of their offensive drives right now, which is astronomically lower than where they were last season. So there's that to look at as well. So matchups that the computer really likes here. We've got our computer rated number 14 Colts versus the Titans rated 18th. The computer has the Colts at a -2.5 favorite versus Vegas having the Titans -1.
I don't hate that.
I don't hate that either because the Colts have looked really good. The Titans have looked very iffy. And the Colts have that home field advantage, so that definitely helps in that metric. But that one stood out to me. The Falcons, Texans. Computer has the Texans favored by 1. Falcons are favored. I believe the current line is 2.5. The computer flips that to the Texans though. Vikings, Chiefs. I know, Zach, this was in your picks for the week. Vikings, Chiefs. The computer has the Chiefs at just 3.5, while Vegas has the Chiefs at 5.5, and that line might have moved down to 4.5 since when I took these odds.
I think it did. I think it did drop to 4.5.
So Vegas is getting a little closer to what our computer is saying. Use those numbers as you will. We don't know how accurate they'll be quite yet, but I'm excited to see how accurate they are.
We test them.
I'm excited to see how accurate they are going forward.